Welcome back, everyone. Happy Easter. Right now, Battlefield 1 Live is the Battlefield 1 Easter update that has released. I've downloaded it, I've checked it out, and I know a lot of you guys are going to have the question, do we get the brand new weapon variants in this update? The answer is no, we do not. We do not get the weapons update, but I'm going to run you through a few things that we are getting to see if you guys are actually interested, if you're happy with this, or at the end, if this update is actually a nothing burger and actually a disappointment update. I'll let you guys know my opinion after I explain all the different things that we have coming for us here in this brand new update. If you haven't downloaded it yet, log into Origin. It is right there right now. Now, as you guys know, very quickly, I've always given you guys Battlefield updates ever since release, every single month, letting you know what was coming out, especially once they changed to the monthly update system. So there was a huge question of, are we going to continue to get monthly updates now that the Apocalypse DLC, the final DLC for Battlefield 1, has released? Well, I've got good news, guys, and I got bad news. The good news is we did get an update now for March, so we are in line to continue getting these monthly updates. Here's the bad news. Ever since the Apocalypse DLC update, I saw some huge performance drops that I just basically tried to ignore. Now in this update, it just seems like it's gotten even worse, and the chat box was going crazy last round with everybody explaining they were seeing dips in their FPS. Should they turn off VSync, turn on VSync? Is it DirectX 11? Is it DirectX 12? Just huge performance hits. One player actually said, this is the Battlefield Battlefield 2018 update, basically giving us a broken Battlefield 1 so that we'll buy Battlefield 2018. I just figured I'd share that with you guys before I get into my opinion. So let's get into what you came here for. The updates here for the Battlefield 1 2018 Easter update. So what they say here, and I'm translating this from a Russian website because still this has not been released in English, and this update's been out for a couple hours now. This has not been released in English, so bear with me as I run through this with you guys because there are a lot of different words that were translated from Google Translator, and some of them just really don't make sense as I go through this here. So one thing that they says here is a major thing that it's only been 2 years, right? A major thing that we've needed is basically this HDR lighting, the lighting effect when you look outside the window. There was an unnatural glow that appeared while looking outdoors from being indoors. So basically they're saying they did not remove the glow, but they worked on it so it doesn't really interfere with the gameplay and visibility on different maps. I'll give you those maps momentarily, but if you're looking out of a window on Amiens, Sinai Desert, Soissons, Galicia, Heligoland Bight, and here it's called Heligoland Cove because, like I said, there's just so many different translation errors here. But if you're looking out the window on some of these maps, the whole list is Ballroom Blitz, Sinai Desert, Verdun Heights, Soissons, Lubkov Pass, Galicia, Tsaritsyn, and Heligoland Bight. Looking out of a window, that huge glow that would cause you a little difficulty in actually seeing the enemy, that huge glow that would cause your quote-unquote game eyes, the game eyes of your character, to adjust. It should be a little bit better to deal with, to contend with, and it shouldn't be as much of a distraction. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give that a thumbs up. I've noticed it a lot on Ballroom Blitz, usually at the Charlie flag, so I'll give it a thumbs up. All right, that's a step in the right direction. It's only been 2 years, but whatever. I don't think it was really the biggest deal in the world, but whatever. They said they've improved stability on all platforms. I really think that is just way too broad. I think that's just thrown in there as a filler. Improved stability on all platforms. I'm assuming that an update normally would improve stability, but I'm going to go ahead and say that stability has actually decreased for us here on PC. I'll get into that momentarily. It says they've improved the selection of players for maps Battlefield 1 Apocalypse. Now they've included a new match balancer. Now, this is something huge, guys. This is 2 months into the game. 2 months. This is like 2 years into the game cycle here for this game. And they've released a new match balancer. What this balancer does is basically the match has to have 10 or more players, and then this balancer kicks in. What it'll do, if the one team has a strength of players, it differs by 3 fighters. Let's say the other team has a deficit of 3 fighters. The imbalancer will jump in, and after 30 seconds, the teams will be equalized. So what does that mean? Players will be switched to the opposite team. Now I'm going to run through a couple reasons why players will be picked, a couple reasons why players may not be picked to be switched to the other team, because I can guarantee you, as the player who's usually somewhere along the top of the map, somewhere along the top of the scoreboard, I would be furious, absolutely furious, if I was switched to the other enemy team because there's a deficit. Here's a couple things that you should know that will decrease, again, that will decrease your chances of getting team switched or equalized. Players will be judged by the number of points they received and the time for which they received those points while in the team. The higher these figures are, meaning the more points that you have while playing with your team, the lower the chance of transferring you to another team. If the player has already been transferred to another team by the balancer, they will not be transferred a second time. So obviously, if you're playing and you're transferred and you rage, and then again you were transferred, of course, you would just back out. I mean, there would be no point in continuing to play. Players from the party will not be transferred. Players from the squads will have less of a chance of being thrown into another team. So that means those of you guys who are playing outside of a squad, first of all, if you're playing Battlefield 1, do yourself a favor, join a squad. If you're not playing in a squad, it will greatly increase your chance of being thrown into another team. The balancer will wait until the player dies before changing this team, so this will not happen while you're alive. I can only imagine how much rage that would cause if you're running through an awesome kill streak and you're just doing so awesome and all of a sudden you're just boop, kicked and moved over to the other team. Now we're going to get to a couple bug fixes. They fixed a bug on Caporetto in which the heavy bomber spawned too low and got the damage from the collision immediately after its appearance. They fixed a bug where the Howl rifle had a different number of rounds in the serial version. They fixed a bug where the Dreadnought whistle did not stop roaring. I really don't think I've noticed some of those. Now they go on to improve the balance on the map Volga River and Operation Red Tide. I'm assuming those are the changes that we tried out in CTE when we also tried out the brand new weapons. And I'm going to admit, I'm a little disappointed that the brand new weapons were not dropped in this update because in my opinion, actually using them, they basically seem ready. I don't really see the issue, but again, I'm not the developers. Again, I don't know what they're waiting for, what they're holding out for. Maybe they found some issues. I don't know. Now, something that I see in almost every single update, they say they fixed a bug where players could climb to inaccessible roofs on the map of Amiens. It seems like every time there's another fix for people getting on the rooftops of Amiens, just leave it alone. Leave it alone, guys. I think there's a lot more important things to focus on, such as the revive glitch that keeps happening where my gun is just flinging all over the place after I'm revived. They fixed the bugs where players encounter invisible barriers on different maps, such as the destruction of the bridges in Amiens, and when leaving the fort on Montegrappa, and also invisible barriers next to the flag of Point D in the Fortress FAO. They fixed the quality of some trees on the map on the River Somme. Let's go down here. It looks like we got some UI updates here. They've improved and fixed the names where players' names, if they were too long, were outside the screen of the best squad. They fixed a bug where the icon of the rifle grenade from the Howl rifle was missing. They fixed some skin bugs with the M1911 not showing on screen. They fixed the skin with the Automatico M1918. And there's a few other things here that are just really, really insignificant, such as a join any operation button, certain things here. In my opinion, guys, just running through what we have here, this is not the full update patch notes. This is just what I'm able to catch here that has been translated through the Google Chrome. In my opinion, guys, we were seeing some huge performance drops in this update. As a matter of fact, the chat box, while I was playing multiplayer, the chat box was going insane. It was going bananas with players actually wondering, what do we do? How do we fix this? What's going on? For example, I play on a 144 hertz monitor. If you've seen my setup video, I'm usually averaging about between 85 and 100 frames per second. I've actually seen a dip into 37 frames. I've never seen that before. Of course, I was playing all ultra, so I dropped all of my graphical settings down to low, and I saw absolutely no change in the frame per second performance. So that's very, very questionable. I do not know what's going to go on with this, but in my opinion, this update is a lot of nothing. I'm hoping that because it's called the Battlefield Easter update, we're maybe getting some Easter eggs to give us a couple hints about Battlefield 2018, which might be a possibility. But other than that, as of this time, as of right now, I do not understand all the secrecy that was basically given to us regarding this update. So for example, we were told very last minute, very shortly, hey, update, Easter update's coming out tomorrow. And guys are like, hey, well, what's going on? Guys on Twitter, guys on Reddit, well, what's in the update? Oh, you will see. Wait for the patch notes, you will see. And I'll be honest, from what I see right here, there's really not much going on here, guys. But we're going to check it out, see if we see some Easter eggs. Maybe that will be what's so huge about it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hit that like button. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you've downloaded this update. Check it out. Let me know if you get any performance issues, because I really think this needs to be addressed. I've noticed some performance issues ever since the Apocalypse DLC update, but I've managed to continue on. I've managed to just ignore them, but now it's just really, really becoming very, very choppy, very, very laggy, and the FPS performance has just taken a drastic hit. So catch you guys on the next one. It's your boy Rump Spanker, and until next time, I'm out of here.